undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, introducing...
Welcome, everyone. Okay, today we've got a really fascinating one you sent over. A hypothetical boxing match.
Oh, yeah. Who are we looking at?
Mike Tyson versus Dolph Lundgren.
Wow, okay, Iron Mike and Ivan Drago. Where's this coming from?
The source is called Comboffelier, which translates to the attached text, and it sets up this, classic clash.
Right, the raw power against the maybe more technical skill. Different kind of skill, anyway.
Exactly. Raw, explosive boxing power versus a disciplined martial arts foundation.
Makes sense. Tyson, youngest ever heavyweight champ, just a force of nature. What was his record? 50-6.
Yep, 50 wins, 6 losses. And the source talks about his ferocious speed, that head movement.
The peekaboo style. Unbelievable power generation from inside.
Totally. Then you've got Lundgren. Most people know as Drago, sure.
But he's a legitimate martial artist, right? Karate background.
Yeah, the text points that out. European karate champion, actually. And physically imposing 6'5".
Huge size and reach advantage there.
Definitely. Plus, that Kyokushin karate training, the source mentions it emphasizes, powerful strikes, solid defense, a very calculated approach.
So very different foundations. Lundgren with the karate discipline, Tyson pure boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the source seems to think that difference is, pretty critical in a boxing match.
Okay, so how does the text break down this hypothetical fight? Does it lean one way?
Oh, definitely. It zooms right in on Tyson's advantages within boxing.
Like what specifically?
Things like his ring IQ.
Ah, yeah. That sixth sense for angles, distance, timing inside the rope.
Exactly. And his explosive timing, just that ability to suddenly detonate a punch.
And the finishing instinct. Once he hurt someone.
Game over, usually. Ruthless finisher, the text calls him. It argues that this stuff would let Tyson basically just bypass Lundgren's reach advantage almost immediately.
So Lundgren's size and martial arts skills are acknowledged, but
the text really hammers his lack of, top-level professional boxing experience.
Right. He never faced that kind of pressure, that specific kind of offense at Tyson's level.
Precisely. The source explicitly says he lacked real-world ring experience under pressure at that elite tier. How big a deal is that difference?
According to this text, it's everything. It's presented as the absolute decider.
So martial arts training, even Kyokushin, doesn't quite translate.
Not directly into high-level boxing, no. It gives you great conditioning, discipline, power, sure. But pro boxing requires unique footwork, head movement, specifically for punches, absorbing punishment. It's different.
So Lundgren's maybe more, linear karate style?
Yeah, the text suggests his stance and movement wouldn't hold up well against Tyson's dynamic in and out, bobbing and weaving attack, especially the outside fighting.
Okay, I see where this is going. So drum roll. What's the prediction from showdown to 80?
Well, it doesn't mince words.
No.
It literally says, Tyson wins, no contest, 5 seconds.
5 seconds, seriously.
That's what it says, 5 seconds.
Wow, okay, that's incredibly decisive. What's the logic behind that fast to finish?
The idea is basically that Tyson's combination of ring smarts, explosion, and aggression would just completely overwhelm Lundgren before he could even, establish his range or use his martial arts skills in a boxing context.
So Tyson just closes the distance instantly.
Pretty much. Closes distance, unleashes fight-ending power, and Lundgren, lacking that specific pro boxing defense and experience under fire, just gets caught. That seems to be the argument.
So even with the height, the reach, the strength, the discipline from karate,
the text argues it's not enough against that specific elite-level boxing skill set and pressure. It makes the advantages almost irrelevant in those first few moments.
it really drives home how specialized high-level sports are, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a stark reminder that fighting isn't monolithic. The rules, the environment, they dictate so much.
Okay, so the main takeaway from this source is pretty clear. In the specific context of a boxing ring, the honed skills and experience of an elite boxer like Tyson are seen as just trumping even significant physical advantages and a different combat sports background.
Yeah, context is king, basically.
Yeah.
The source uses this matchup to illustrate that point quite powerfully.
It definitely gives you something to think about.
For sure. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other matchups between people with wildly different skills might play out in unexpected ways, just depending on the specific rules or the arena?
Yeah, like what other fantasy clashes hinge entirely on where or how they fight? Something for our listeners to chew on.